Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And tonight, we have a really, really special guest. Said really? A very, very special guest. Trust me, this is going to be a great interview. This New York City legend is a basketball icon. He attended Seward Park High School and the legendary Tennessee A&I, now Tennessee State. In those days, the NBA did not draft many black players into the league. So from 1966 to 1974, this basketball head played for the Harlem Globetrotters. He was part of that classic team called The Show. You know, the original Globetrotters, with Curly Neal, Meadowlark Lemon, and Wilt Chamberlain. But this basketball head saw that black players were being exploited and wanted to change. He stood up for everyone who didn't have a voice in the game. So he started the Globetrotters Union because he knew a change was going to come. This basketball head was also named top 50 greatest players in Rucker Pro League. And he also coached at Central Connecticut, Long Island University, Boston College, Stanford University, and now serves as the chairman for the Retired Globetrotters Association. Help me welcome to the show, New York City legend, basketball icon, and a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame, Bobby Zoro Hunter.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. 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 Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. 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 East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening?
Well,
how you doing, OG? How you doing, OG?
Hey, man, not bad. I went to my therapist today, and I told her, I said, listen, since I can't be wealthy, make me healthy.
That's awesome. Listen, brother, we are both shining tonight, man.
Yeah. My Each One Teach One shirt. Okay.
Oh, that's classic right there.
All right.
And since you were such a revolutionary in your time and still are, right? Look what I got on.
Oh, my man Malcolm. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, my cousin was the first Black Panther here in Harlem, David White.
Wow.
The Panthers actually came from New York, came from Alabama to New York, and then went to California.
That's awesome.
And David White was the head of United Harlem Growth, which was giving brownstones back to people in Harlem. And he lined up in 36th Street. That's the first place. Luther Gale still has his place. I had 2 brownstones across from PS 36.
Wow.
I don't want Tank to be mad at me, so I had to show that, you know.
It's all good.
The
it's
real
all
basketball
good.
player's a Harlem shirt.
Definitely. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to the show. I'm glad we can reconnect and make this happen.
Yeah.
Can you bring the phone down a little bit, sir? Sir, there you go. I need to see that beautiful smile, you know?
All right.
There you go.
I was getting all head there, man.
Pause. Nah. All right. Who introduced you to the game?
Who introduced me to the game? A guy, I think more or less named Herman White from 129th Street, played with Satch Sanders at Seward Park. And then a guy named Junior Martin took me to my first game. Junior Martin coached the Smalls team quite a player, was part of the Five Guys. That's going back an awful long time. The Five Guys: Willie Hall, Tom Hoover, Tony Greer, Tim Shine, Barry Barnett. Wow, Pickles Murphy. So that's going
Wow.
further. But Cecil Watkins introduced me to basketball life. And Cecil Watkins was head of the Courtsmen. He also coached PS68 Nats. He also brought the referees and had training at PS68. He also had Amcor. He also developed the Courtsman team. And around the nation, there was Pro-Am. And Pro-Am was the development of players and referees in like various states. And there was close to 20 of them throughout.
Wow.
So Cecil Watkins therefore introduced me to Rucker. And the rest is history. And Rucker, who I love because he was able to handle me as he was able to handle. See, Rucker was a personal friend of each player. So anybody tell you, say, yeah, Rucker, that was my personal friend. But he was the personal of each player. And then Rucker had the ability to speak to you in a manner where his voice went right in your ears and it came into your mind and it didn't explode. And it wasn't a yell or a scream or talking down to you. So his communication skills was most powerful. So I said, wow, if he can do this to me, maybe I can do this to some other people. and every speaking engagement I ever had, any basketball clinic, I tried to duplicate Rucker in every manner.
Well, you have a few people that's, seen you play on here and who work with you. My guy, Jason Gilliam, right? He said he worked in a few camps with you and did a few clinics with you as well. And he said you have one of the best memories in the world.
Yeah, a good memory is a substitute for intelligence. I'll tell you how this went. I was failing, and my mother said, well, look, why are you failing? I said, well, we having a problem in school, especially this girl, Pat, was sitting in front of me with the woo-wah-wooey. And so she said, well, look, if you can remember a whole movie and the title and each player cast in the movie, then this history book could be nothing. So she said, just do it the same way. So that got me started studying just because whatever mom said was right.
That's right. That's right. Where in Harlem are you from?
129th Street. You didn't know that?
I know now.
129th Street between Lenox and Fifth. Got you.
At that time when you was coming up,
you had to have a three-piece suit, had to have your hat correct, and then also you had to have your cuffs correct, and then the other is you had to have an Italian knot in your tie. Hey,
guys from Harlem are still getting fly to this day, man. So you guys set the foundation for that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Can you bring the phone down just a little bit? Just a little bit.
Here we go. How we doing?
There you go. There you go.
That's the biggie there. There we go.
There you go. So when you was coming up, who was the best player in the neighborhood?
The best player in the neighborhood was John Harris. And John Harris was MVP in the Rucker in the high school in 1958.
Ooh.
Yes, John Harris. When you say John Harris' name, people shake a little bit. But there was a great player in my class named Irvin Cato that made Cooper in the 7th grade basketball team, so that made him pretty good. And then we had a study game called 5-2. And there you would be working out the psychological method of playing this game. And Walt Simon, who lived in my building, was one of the best 5-2 shooters there was. I think the best
5-2.
5-2. And you talk while you were shooting, and you bet while you were shooting, and it would see how your nerves set. And it really set me for a long list of methods of playing. Best 5'2" shooter, Herman Honey Taylor. Second,
Wow.
I would think, was Albert Church. Third might be Shorty Marshall. Fourth might be, that's a rough on that fourth one.
Now, look, my guy Jason Gilliam knows you well. He said Zoro paints too. He is an avid fan of art and painting.
Well, you know, all that time I wasted in class, drawing in class, me, Urban Cato, and Randy, drawing horses. Then one day I found out, hey, maybe I got a talent here. And then some lady said, hey, you're not too bad. And then I got with Lloyd Williams' sister named Grace Williams, 120th on 18th Street, and she taught me how to paint with glass.
Wow.
And it was like a life changer. And here, she thought I wasn't listening to her, and I listened to every word she said. It's the only thing that I'm meticulous in is painting.
You're an excellent artist. Definitely. Definitely.
So listen, in the life of young people and in people's lives, young people, there's always one thing. And you have to find that one thing and connect it. And if you don't believe me, ask Duke Tango. I call him Tango Duke.
Who's that? Who's Duke Tango?
Huh?
Who's Duke Tango?
He changed the rucker into hip hop, announcing.
Oh, I got you. Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you think that was a good thing or bad thing?
I think that I used to love to hear the Moonglow sing. Then came the Jackson 5. And now there's no telling what to come. I think
What's up, you know?
Sing the song saying, oh God, what does P. Diddy sing? Something really cool. I'll be missing you. So life changes. The game changes.
Yeah, definitely. The game changes. People change, right? And the people who running it kind of stay the same.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what we're missing. We're missing the park department. The park department ruled, and we didn't know how important the park department was because they were mentors, and they were mentors that were together. And when I say together, is that Ollie Edinburgh, Fritz Pelham, they were connected together. And Hilton White. Hilton White and Mr. Ollie sent Charlie Scott to Laurinburg.
Really?
Together. And Sonny Reed with other park department people sent people to Benedict. So the park department was a very powerful piece. Cecil Watkins worked for the park department out in Queens, and he ran the Ray Felix tournament. The Ray Felix tournament was second to the Rucker.
Wow, this is all history for me right now. Yeah,
the Long Island crew and Brooklyn crew could get there very easily, and the games there was really something. Then we found out Cecil Watkins had another center called 127 in Elmcore. So he was like a pioneer of basketball throughout the country, not only here in New York.
Yeah, we need to get that back. We need to get something going on in New York to bring the culture of basketball back to New York. Because right now, I think we're just losing the culture. The basketball is not going on anywhere, but the culture of basketball, I think, is not there.
Well, there was a design to ruin basketball in New York because they had players like Sherman White, Herman Taylor, Ed Warner, Floyd Lane. These guys were pros in college. So all of
Yeah.
those people are missing now. We're missing.
Hey,
Not
listen,
play in the
listen.
NBA.
All right, listen. Great minds think alike. I've been saying this for the longest on the show. There's an article, a New York Times article, that mentions the Regents exam. This exam that all the kids have to take in New York State. And they coincided with the decline of New York City basketball. As this thing hit, the decline of New York City basketball dipped, and players started to have to go to prep schools and other places to become successful. Not all, but many.
Well, I got a 63 on the English region. I was just thinking about that the other day. They could have gave me 2 more points. I studied hard for that. Mr. Siegel. One day I'm going to get you, Siegel. You know, they finished off Tony Jackson, then they finished off Connie and Roger. Connie and Roger was insane. Any day, any court, that would have never went through. So they ruined 2 of the greatest talents coming out of Harlem.
What happened with Roger Brown? What happened with Roger Brown? I know about Connie Hawkins. What happened to Roger Brown?
They tied Roger Brown to a gentleman that I won't mention his name, and in order for him not to go to jail, he indicated Connie and Roger in the same manner as taking bribes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that took Connie out of his prime.
Was a book. What he got out of it was a book and no jail time.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. You know, unfortunately, earlier, the right agents weren't presented for New York players. There is a long list of players that should have played in the NBA. I mean, from Ernie Myers to Mo Seven. I could go down to the GOAT, to Joe Hammond. I mean, Pee Wee Kirkland. Pee Wee Kirkland did get a tryout. He did so well that they got rid of him. He did so well they got rid of him.
He said he turned down the $40,000 contract because he had more of that in his pocket. He did mention that.
I can afford to disagree with him because the way he played at that camp, he came to play. And as I was at the dressing room there with Clifford Ray and whatnot, the guy said, well, he's the best in the camp, but we can't take a chance. There's cars driving behind him and etc. So he did not make the Bulls. And then we were arguing in the Rucker Park one time, and he said, man, I didn't really want to make the NBA. I said, bull walk. You were trying to make the NBA. He said, well, I was drafted by Seattle. I said, Seattle didn't draft you. Chicago did. He said, well, Seattle did draft me. So just as we were arguing, Emmett Bryan came right around the corner. And Pee Wee said, Stickman said, hey, Emmett, did y'all draft me? Emmett said, yeah, we were trying to get you at Seattle. So, I said, okay.
That's crazy. Now, another question. I want to stay on this for a minute. Do you think that was one of the reasons why they kept a lot of guys out of the NBA because they were too good? It used to trip me out when I had to see you guys when I was younger and say, why aren't these guys in the NBA? Because I wasn't watching the NBA back then. I was watching you guys.
There was a lot of players that made All-American, went on championship teams, and didn't make the NBA, and everyone was surprised. I think it was a collective effort not to have those players because best thing they could do is go to Long Island and say, I'm from Long Island, and they stand a better
Wow.
But okay, I'm gonna try to get out of this way. Abe Saperstein said, don't have more than 2 New Yorkers on the team at a time.
And that's crazy because now overseas, you only can have 2 Americans, and those 2 Americans usually are black guys.
Yeah, well, overseas is a whole different animal. The first time I went to Europe and was in Italy, I thought somebody was playing a joke when they were bowing down and they spoke in a manner that, and I was from 129th Street, so I was used to being cool, but I saw the difference in America and Europe in the treatment of African Americans. And what Abe meant was, see, guys from New York are not going to accept the same thing as other guys do, you know? And that was proven by me and Pablo taking the Globetrotters on strike. And players have been trying to do it for some 60 years, but we were able to manage that, to say, hey, we're not playing because you're not treating African Americans right, and this here is against civil rights. Now take that.
Yeah, I read Basketball Slave.
Listen, Ollie told me something very important. Ollie said, listen, they're going to try to bribe you. I said, what do you mean? He says, they're going to try to bribe.
Wow. Right now, I'm just going to be a student of the game and listen. I want to, because you started buffering. Did you say that Muhammad Ali said that Abe Saperstein was going to try to bribe you guys?
Abe had died. I was the last one that recruited him. And Abe didn't bribe anybody. He scared them. But this was the new management of George Gillette and Potter Palmer. And Potter Palmer, George Gillette said, look, I'm going to try to, we're going to get rid of Bobby if we have to bring an NBA player. So Bobby Joe Mason said, well, which NBA player is going to be that? I played 5 positions, and I ran 5 miles a day, you know? And the only person I was scared of was Earl Monroe.
Black Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's keep on this. I read Basketball Slave. I think it was about former teammate of you guys. I can't remember his name. His son is from Harlem. I do remember that. Hold on, I'll give it to you right now because I had it written down.
What's the question again?
No, I just want to talk about the Globetrotters at the time when they said, oh, I got it right here, Andy Johnson.
Andy Johnson, that was my man. Tough.
Yes.
He was really tough NBA player.
Yes. Now, his story was interesting because what I read that the Globetrotters would sell you to an organization, and that organization would either cut you or keep you around right before they had to pay your pension and to get rid of you.
Yeah, that was more or less how it was done back in the day. Because you see, there's 3 segments of Globetrotters. There's the Globetrotters that beat the Minneapolis Lakers and beat.
We're going to get there. I want to talk about that as well.
And then there was the Globetrotters that I played with, where we played some straight games and we played all-star games. And then came the Globetrotters that had girls. So there was 3 generations of Globetrotters playing.
Now, let's go back to that first game with the Minneapolis Lakers, right?
Yeah.
At this time, you know, the NBA is opening up for you guys.
The NBA.
The way I read it, the NBA will play first, and then the Harlem Globetrotters will play second. And then they start seeing, no, they will have the Harlem Globetrotters first and the NBA games second, but then the people will start leaving, and then they switched it.
Yeah.
Right? And then, you know, you guys got egos, so they start talking, and then the game gets played. Now, the question I always wanted to ask, that first game when they won by 2, did they do that purposely?
No. No.
Because the next game they blew them out by 20.
I know, but I know the guy who made the winning shot. I met him. Yeah. No.
I had a theory. I had a theory that Abe Saperstein told the guys, don't win by too much, because the first game and they didn't want to embarrass the NBA guys, so they won by 2. Now, this is just my theory. This is my theory.
The people I talked to that were still alive that played in the game told me no. He said no. We weren't sharp as we normally are. And see, the Globetrotters had a technique of playing straight ball that was second to none. I've seen the Celtics use some of it. I look at the NBA players now, and I'm surprised that the coaches don't implement it.
But what was the difference between the first and second game?
The Globetrotters were more relaxed. The first game, they weren't.
Got you.
Yeah.
Another story that was in a book, it said that if a representative for the Globetrotters came, they usually came and got players who were underclassmen, and they would spread out $500 or $800 in ones on the bed to kind of attract guys to play.
I have no idea about that.
Yeah, that was just all the information I got for the Andy Johnson story. He
Well,
said,
I have no idea about that.
They came to Washington State and they spread $500 of ones on his bed, and he said that was the most money he ever saw, and he said that's when he was sold.
Well, I know that there was a lot of manipulation during then, because part of the deal, they stopped Marcus Haynes from going to Philadelphia. Marcus Haynes. See, Marcus Haynes, everything he did was real. He did the same thing all the time. I mean, I'll just put it like this here. I only tried to check 2 people in my life. That was Earl Monroe and Marcus Haynes. And it didn't turn out good for me. Marcus Haynes, I jumped on him at camp, said, you ain't all that. And he hit the ball in my chest, went 1, 2, 3, bang, jump shot. So the next time I had him and he spun, bang, jump shot. So the third time, you know what happened, right? I was on.
You got to follow?
I got away. Oh, man.
So let's go back a little bit. When you was in Seward Park, how good were you guys?
Oh, man, we was great until Rodan fell out. Walter Simpson. I mean, he was something else. He fell off the team. I couldn't imagine him failing off because he had a great handwriting. He acted like he was always in class. Boy, we were really we were pretty good. Franklin was awful good at that time. And
what about Clinton? What about DeWitt Clinton?
They were always good. They were always good. They had Dunbar, Popcorn, Eddie Bowens, Charlie Fowler, Jerry Harkness. Woo, gosh, you know what I mean? They were scalding. And Popcorn, he had that long stride going to the basket each time, and the other it was no shot. He didn't think that you couldn't block. And then if you came down the middle, let's rumble. I mean,
wow.
He tested.
And he's still winning this program in New York City. He's still winning this high school as far as city championships in New York City.
Well, the Clinton team that beat Boys High, they played in the college freshman in 1960. So it was Dunbar, Eddie Bowen, Charlie Fowler, and then they brought me, Tony Gray, and Artie Bird in. And we beat Roger Brown, Connie Hawkins, and Wynn once in Brooklyn, once here. Oh, yeah, we beat their butt. Come on, Popcorn. They still remember Popcorn. And then we had Vincent Shomo playing with us. And lucky he had a limousine, because that game we won in Brooklyn with the beer bottles and the baseball players, playing and popcorn punch.
Where did y'all play? Where did y'all play in Brooklyn? Y'all play in Kingston Park or Bridgeport?
Kingston Park, which is Andrews Park.
Now, this is history, people, because the great Ray Haskins told me the first Rucker games were held at Kingston Park and not in Harlem.
He's right and wrong. One of the early games was there in Brooklyn, but they also had one in Rucker Park at 129th Street.
Right, I get that, but I'm talking about like where it's at now. They moved it. They moved from 129th to 155th.
Yeah, it was 129th Street first. And then
yes.
They moved to 130th Street because there was a sink in the park and the water would fill up. So Rucker told McCullough to clean up that water, and then he told me and Ernie Morris, McCullough said to me and Ernie Morris, Rucker wants you to clean that water up. There was some marvelous games there because I'd come up from 129th Street and watch Jackie Jackson snatching Wilkes jump shot out of the sun. And
please, let's talk about Jackie. Let's talk about Jackie Jackson. Let's talk about jumping Jackie Jackson real quick. Please explain to me what kind of hops this guy, because we never seen him play. Who we can compare him to?
Only one person you could compare him to is possibly John Thompson. But he blocks shots in a certain manner because all of that Connie and Jackie had that same thing. They make like they wasn't looking at you, and then they had the ability to take one step and go and get you. It was nothing. I've never seen anybody jump like Jackie Jackson in my life. Jump over people's head. Jump over their head. So he was broke one time. So I said, Jack, everybody come around here. Go touch the top of the backboard.
Wow.
I played with him for 8 years. He sat beside me. He never gave me any of the money I dropped on the floor.
Hey, my guy Ref 1 said he's seen you give Dr. J. Julius Irvin the business. How true is that?
Well, listen, man. As years go along, you hear the stories. You know what I mean? Dr. J came late and got 57. Me and Cliff Anderson was both checking him. Pete Bessie put it in the post. Only business I seen given to Dr. J was by Joe Hammond.
Really? I heard this was the myth.
It didn't happen that way.
Oh, so okay. So Doc came late and dropped 57 on you guys.
Right. So yeah, that's the way of telling the story about who did what business to who.
Got you. How good was Dr. J when he was coming up to Rucker? Because, you know, we didn't see him until he kind of like passed his prime in the NBA. Because the first NBA game I saw was the 1980 championship between the Lakers and the Sixers. And that was the first game I've ever watched from front to back.
I'm almost sorry he played on that cement because it may have ended his career earlier. But you see, I only seen two hands like Dr. J. That's Dr. J's hand and that's Tatum's hand.
Connie Hawkins didn't have big hands?
See, there's big hands and there's big hands. To Dr. J and to Bruce Tatum, it was like a tennis ball in their hand. The ball never slipped out. They never had to do the stick move. That's when you take your finger and stick it to make sure it's tight, and then you keep on going. See, it's a different motion. It's a different motion. Then this motion here is straight on all the way.
Got you.
Yeah.
So back then when you was coming out of high school, what was the college recruiting process like?
Very strong, and the SATs was very important to have. Otherwise, you had to go to junior college.
So when did they start coming up with the SAT exam?
Ever since I know, it had to be early 50s.
Right. Okay, I want to see this right now because this is something I should have looked up a long time ago. SAT 1926, founded 1926.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's about right.
It was adaptation from the Army ID test. And that's how they came up with it.
Everything was in 1926. The Globetrotters started in 1926. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now that Texas A&I team. Again, thanks to Coach Haskins, he told me that they were the first team to win 3 college national championships.
I believe it was only 2.
It was 2?
And there was a second team.
Back to back. Yes, back to back.
There was a second team to have, to put 5 black players on the court at one time. The first was
Texas El Paso.
Loyola.
It wasn't Texas El Paso. It wasn't Texas El Paso, the movie that we saw.
I would have to say it was Loyola.
Wow.
I think they were playing Cincinnati.
This is all history, man. This is crazy. That's crazy.
I talked to David Latine 2 days ago. Powerful. And matter of fact, we were online with Kasia. And Bobby Joe Hill was magic.
Wow. Hey, listen.
And Portnoy, excuse me.
He was the Clinton. Bobby Joe Hill with the Clinton, right? Bobby Joe Hill with the Clinton, right?
Willie Worsley.
Willie Worsley with the Clinton?
Yes.
Where did Bobby Joe go? Where did he come from?
He came from Detroit.
Got you. Got you.
A line of Detroit players that never got that whole thing. They had a group come out in 1960.
Yeah.
Really something.
That movie, the 5 basketball players.
Oh, yeah.
But he said they wasn't the first one to put 5 black guys on the floor. He said Loyola was. This is crazy.
It was called Glory.
Glory Road. Yep,
I'll
Glory
arrange
Road.
for you to have Jerry Hartness on.
Oh, that'd be awesome. So, out of the other schools who was recruiting you, what were some of the other schools besides Tennessee A&I, which is now Tennessee?
Loyola. I was a lock for Loyola, but I failed the Regents. And then I was supposed to go to a junior college, starts with a J in Illinois. I believe the prison's there. And then I was Maryland, NYU, and a Citadel. My grandmother said, no, they think you the white Bobby Hunter.
Yeah, like Citadel. I could imagine you go there.
Yeah, right.
Back then.
And it took me, I hadn't even learned to take orders yet.
So how was life for you down in Tennessee coming from New York?
They called me Manhattan. And I remember me and Wilma was out. I ran a little track earlier, but I had got pneumonia when they had the Olympic tryouts. So I was running track down in Tennessee, you know.
Yo, hold on, OG.
Yeah.
For y'all people who not getting it, because he's just saying, yeah, you know, I was out there with Wilma. He's talking about the legendary Wilma Rudolph. Let's make some noise for
Don't
that.
leave out beautiful.
Let's make some noise for that.
Don't leave out beautiful.
Huh?
Don't leave out beautiful.
Oh, yes, and beautiful.
Yeah,
That's right.
I was in the back racing her for a kiss. She took off like a rocket. I said, what was that? Well, you could have let me win. She said, I tried.
Hey, I heard you had some problems with Muhammad Ali on that. What's going on? Tell me about that.
You know, they came on campus together. You know, walking that walk with them Olympic medals and whatnot. You know, I said, y'all ain't all that. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Oh man. Did not know that those two was going to be two great African Americans in history. And, you know, Ali and I got closer later on in life. Matter of fact, I wanted him to come down to the press conference at the Urban Coalition with Lloyd Williams and Percy Sutton and Arthur Bonds, but I didn't realize the pressure that he was under at that exact time because he was just coming back to fighting after giving it up for 5 years and saying no.
Wow.
The greatest thing a black person can do is just say no. And he said, here, take the fame, here, take the money, take the excitement, take everything, but no. And my brother, who we're going to be honoring on the 22nd at the Georgia Capitol, Dr. John, Dr. John Carlos.
Oh, yeah, Carlos. For sure. Yeah, represent.
We're going to be honoring him at the Georgia Capitol on October 22nd, along with Mary McLeod Bethune's grandniece,
wow,
Curly Neal, and a few others, such as Sharon Hill, who was head of the ERA in Atlanta. And in case you don't know what that is, I got offended because I found out women's rights were only in 38 states.
Wow.
So we're standing behind them. The former Globetrotters are standing by women trying to get this out to people because there's some people that don't care and there's some people that don't know.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Salute to you, OG. That's what it's about right there, man. So tell me about this friendship you had with Curly Neal. I know that was your old roommate.
Oh man. Oh, you talking about Script Neal? That's what they call him. That's what they call him on the black circuit. Script Neal. Man, I remember the game we played in New Jersey against the ABA. And he snuck back home from overseas, claiming his knee.
Y'all played against the ABA?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where was these damn games?
Oh man, it was at the Armory, man. Them guys, oh man, they had a lot of Can-Do All-Stars on there. Dr. Webster was on there. Gerald Govan, oh man. Charlie Brown, oh boy, oh goodness gracious. Man, Curly Neal got 42. See, when we play straight games, it take them about almost 3/4 to figure out, hey, this guy is the real thing here. You know, when we were roommates, you know, to this day, when I come in there, the shirt over there, he'd make up the bed and clean the bathroom and wipe off the tables. I mean, the maids loved him. I mean, oh God, man.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. Him and Metal Lemon was my favorite, and your name just was just like when I heard about the other Zoro in the movie, I just didn't get it. I was like, the Zoro I know lives in Harlem. You know what I mean?
Well, I had to shave my I had to grow sideburns and whatnot because we were in Westchester and we came out of the dressing room and Medlock's mother said, "Hey, Medlock." I said, "Oh."
Wow, it scared him.
I said, I gotta get me some beer. And oddly enough, her last name was Hunter too. And she lived across the street from us.
What year did you play in the Rucker League?
I played in 1965 with Sam Stitt, Johnny Green, who else? Johnny Green, Sam Stitt, Frankie Townsend, Pickles Murphy, and Kovac, and Dave Seward. And then I went overseas. And when I came back, the Davis team was sweet and sour. I said, "Oh no, we're not having that."
You gotta tell them to pause on that one, OG.
Oh yeah, we changed that. I said the name of the team is the Urban League, and we got some blue uniforms and put in Ron Jackson, Tony Greer, Willie Hall, Wally Goodwin, and Pickles Murphy, and Frankie Townsend, and
wow,
a guy from Brooklyn named Smith, Smiley Smith.
That's crazy. Because the way you talk now, like you uptown guys was always coming to Brooklyn to play. I know in my era, a lot of uptown guys and Queens guys didn't come to Brooklyn to play.
Well, some of us was different. See, if you're all black, you go anywhere. So I play in Brooklyn with Niles, Butch Niles,
yeah.
and Jackson. Jackie Wilson.
Oh, Jackie Wilson. Okay.
There was a famous game in Soul in the Hole. TV Vincent was there. TV Vincent's old time player. That's going too back for everybody. We were playing like nobody's business, and I was checking Goldfinger, and Goldfinger was killing her, and I was on him so tight a raindrop couldn't get in between, and I checked him all the way, and he just turned like it was nothing, like I was nothing, and shot the ball in, and before it hit the ground, I grabbed and threw it down court, and Jackie Wilson laid it up. The game was over. I was in my car, and the fight had started.
That's what they do. Listen, that's all the guys will say, man. We don't want to come to Brooklyn because we don't want no problems, man.
Hole in the hole?
Yes.
Oh, man.
That was considered to be a problem. Now, when you join the Globetrotters, right?
Yeah.
And you start seeing the players getting treated unfairly. And when you came over to Union, did they kind of dismiss you right after that?
No. Pop Gates and Carl Green told me, plan carefully and watch who you tell. So by the time they got everything, I had everything pretty well structured, and then Pablo had the other team. A real power here. Could I have done what Pablo did? Because Bobby Hunter told Pablo, hold down the other team and join what's right. So it's something in your life that brings you to an area with another man when you got each other's back. Yeah.
Do you feel like the NBA blackballed you because of that?
No, they blackballed me before that. But no. I was in the Knick camp and playing down in Wilmington, Delaware with Freddie Crawford and Tom Hoover, and I shot a left-hand backhand on Laverne Tart, and Neil Johnson said, "If you'd have missed that shot, I would have got rid of you right then." So I played better team ball when I got with the Globetrotters.
Wow.
It's rough. Being able to play 5 positions and being able to run 25 miles a week and being ambidextrous. And then the other is, that 5'2", gave you a calming effect, so I had no problem. I couldn't wait to get on the court. It was like an adventure.
Wow. Now listen, tell me a story about how my cousin, the late great Zachary Husser, got you cut for the Knicks?
God, boy. We was playing. We was playing against Stratton. We was playing against Stratton, and I lucked up and had 10 points right quick. So they couldn't take me out. So then in comes Zach with about 13 of his guys hollering, "Hey, Boogie Boy, Boogie Boy." And Neil Johnson hated Zach. And I said, "Zach, just cool it, man." You know what I mean? So then when he took me out of the game, Zach almost caused a riot. Next thing
What did he do?
Next thing I know, I was cut. And then Zach came to New York and he said, "The only reason I came to New York was because of you and Freddie." I said, "Yeah."
Wow.
But Zach Husser was innovative. He got me on something called the Fathers in Education. And he said, wherever they are, I want you to help them. And then I'd come up and speak at his school up at Wings Academy.
Yes, yes.
Innovative. He would, wow, right now, he'd be on fire.
Listen, listen, if he was alive, he would be helping me with my show so much. And he would have got you and all these other guys, trust me, because he was doing a little something before he passed away.
I know.
I have the spirit of my cousin all inside me, because when I thought I was the first basketball player in my family, you know, to graduate and go to college, he was actually the first one. He did football and basketball at a high level at Columbia University. So salute my cousin, the great Zachary Husser. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Great guy. Miss him a lot.
Greatest basketball player in Harlem. Pop Gates. No. Rabbit Walkout. No. Pop Gates. Yeah.
Pop Gates?
Pop Gates, 10-time MVP in the old Pro League. Played in Washington with John Isaac and Red Auerbach.
He's the father of the fast break, right?
Hey man, his first step was like nobody you ever seen. So my mother told me, she said, "You're not the greatest basketball player in Harlem." I said, "Yeah, nobody, hey mom." And she said, "No, it was the guy better than you, Pop Gates." So she took me to Pop Gates, and he was security at social service there on 25th Street, where she worked at with Tony Greer's moms.
Wow. I posted him up a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, you're gonna have to look him up deeply. You have to look up him deeply, because what he did with the Wrens, because the Wrens was the best team.
Right. Oh, got you.
The best team.
Listen, these guys, their bodies was so crazy. And I know these guys wasn't lifting weights. I look at these guys, the way these guys was built, the way their bodies and their legs were. It's incredible. Incredible specimen.
Cooper, John Isaacs, Big John, Clayton, the referee.
Yeah, I got. Look, check this out.
Yeah.
This is him right here, right?
That's him.
Pop Gate.
Yes.
Pop Gate. I put him up the other day.
Listen, man, the Reds beat the Globetrotters so many times, the Globetrotters bought the Reds.
You serious?
Abe was serious.
They was dead serious.
Bob Douglas, you can say he was a innovative fighter for civil rights. Now, how can that be? Because he took a team back in the 1920s and traveled the United States. He developed hotels where black people could stay, or rooming houses, or however it goes. He developed the first basketball schedule. he developed the first basketball camp. Unfortunately,
Yeah, we talking about Pop Gates.
we're talking about Bob Douglas.
Bob Douglas.
The owner, coach, creator of the Rims.
Ah, got you. Got you.
So
Nice.
when Kareem said on the shoulders of giants, he wasn't explicit enough, because it was more than just basketball. It was life in America.
Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put them up. I'm glad you mentioned these guys.
Yeah.
Because I would have never
And look
known.
up the Washington team with John Isaac and Pop Gates and this other white guy, I can't remember his name. And also look up Red Auerbach.
Now, who was the coach that was at Kansas with Naismith? What was the black guy name? I think he was was that Pop Gates?
No.
It was I think they mentioned that Pop Gates Pop Gates and Naismith.
Won the first MVP in Chicago in the old Pro League.
He's an 8-time tournament All-Pro.
By Charlie Hoxie. Charlie Hoxie worked at Wagner.
Wow.
He mentored all those guys: Joe Hammond, Tito Ortiz, Chico Ramos. That was a deep job that him and Howie Evans had in mentoring kids there in the Wagner projects.
Wow.
Howie Evans brought the first tournament, the Big Apple tournament, to New York, where black players who hadn't been seen before would be able to play. Him and Eggman was designing a method to help black players go to school and still be on the same level, because they were being stopped through a process here in New York.
Wow. And I played the Big Apple game. Definitely helped me out a lot to keep my game sharp, and it gave me something to do during the summertime. I'm reading off something from Pop Gates. It says 8-time world champ All-Pro, 2 professional world champions, 10 professional tournament appearances, first African-American player coach in the major leagues, and one of 2 in the NBL. Wow, won 68 straight games in 1939. Woo!
And there's more there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And when he went up to the Hall of Fame and to go into the Hall of Fame, and he went there on 2 levels. One is a Globetrotter, but the other one as playing in the old Pro League. He handed me his cane, and he said, "I'm gonna walk up there straight." And it took me a while, but I got the feeling of what he meant. That's what kind of person he was.
Wow. So what was traveling like back then for you guys in the days playing with the Globetrotters? Was it difficult traveling through the South?
Slavery on a bus. But as Rick Barry would say, NBA players got to wash their own uniform in order to have it for the next day for a game, just in case you Globetrotters thought you all were the only ones.
They don't got to worry about that no more.
No, you don't, but
all right, we're going to come back with our last segment because time running out. I'm going to come back out and come back in. All right? All right. Wow. History, man. History.
So,
basketball heads.
What I yawned
We'll be right back.
Now.
We're back. So, I just want to say this to you. You know, I know a lot of players sacrifice their integrity, right, for us, and sacrifice everything for guys like myself. And I wouldn't say integrity, I'll change that word, but sacrifice. That's the word I want to use. To help guys like myself be able to get an education through basketball. And I think that those things that were set up to help me, all of those tournaments, the shirt that you have on, I remember playing in that tournament. Each one teach one, Boys of Yesteryear, Elm Corps, Citywide, Big Apple Program, Go to Hoops. All of these things were put together by men and women who had a vision to help the next generation. So I advise all my viewers and people who are watching, especially the young people, to do your homework. Because I'm going to go back and rewatch this video and take down names and do my research on these people. So I have a good idea and an understanding about the history of New York City basketball, because that's important. Thank you. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, let's get into your coaching, right? Because not only you was a great basketball player, you coach at some of the top schools in the country. How did you get into coaching?
How am I doing?
You doing well. I can see you. I can see you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So what occurred was I wanted to, I got into coaching through Rucker, and then I was coaching at the pro tournament. And also, we ran a tournament on the morning side called the Harlem Globetrotters tournament, where Leroy Otis and Earl Manigault refereed.
Wow. That's awesome.
So
and that's how, and that got you into coaching. That got you into
yeah,
coaching.
what got me into coaching is something that you were talking about earlier. It was the academic and also the basketball. So I finally figured out the academics. And the academics was just simply good manners. Because if I went to a teacher and said, would you please help me? Then they would. And my mother hit me to that. So I wanted to show young people that thought maybe they didn't have a chance that you do. And I lost to John Thompson. I lost Patrick Ewing because I had him going to Boston College. But John Thatch got him to go to Georgetown because they approached it as special tutoring. Yeah. So one of the things in coaching, and that's the first thing I said at Boston College, is I said, I'm never going to betray African students. And what I did was, I had a car, and I put about 5 or 6 of them in and drive them around to their teaching. And as one of the students at Boston College will tell you, he was late for his tutoring, and I almost drove my car into the dormitory.
Hey, whatever it takes, man, whatever it takes. So you was at Boston College, Central Connecticut, Long Island University, and Stanford. Tell me a little bit something about Stanford and how it was out there.
Well, only difference with Stanford is I had to talk different. So what I do was I would imitate James Mason while I was talking. And one time I had to substitute in Western civilization. So I was teaching the migration of Germanic tribes, which always excited me. Yeah.
Nice. Wow. So how did you guys come up with the concept of each one teach one? I told you I played in the tournament in the 80s.
And he was listening to a woman called Alma John.
Hold on. Go. Say that again. Say that again. Go back. Say that
He
again.
was listening to a woman called Alma John who had a radio
Who?
show.
Who was listening?
Bob McCullough.
Bob McCullough. Yes.
And he heard her say, "If you see one, teach one." So then he said, "Each one, each one."
Wow, that's awesome. Now, I posted your video, Drug Free World Program. Tell me a little bit something about that.
I found out they were trying to make drug addicts and kids in the 5th grade and drug dealers, and no one was doing anything about it. Also, there was no treatment for FLACA, which 2% of high school and college students are on. So I started an Each One Teach One drug program, and that ain't my thing. And I'm looking to take it with the former Globetrotter food program around the country.
That's awesome, man. So now, let's talk a little bit. So bring the phone down some, OG.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Now, I see you're a great artist. Some of the stuff that you sent me is absolutely incredible. My guy back here, he's a ball player and artist like yourself, Jamel Powell.
He's a sketch guy. He's a sketch guy.
He said, yep. He said he's a sketch guy. He said, can't tell me you can do with the paint too.
Hell yeah.
We just doing that. He just doing full painting, right? That's something they gotta call him for.
Organization Art Against Violence, we say, don't pick up a gun, pick up a brush.
Yeah, he does it with the brush as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. And he got something cooking up nice for you.
I saw something he did last week. He did something on Rick that was very good. He did on Rick. The only thing that was wrong with Rick was he left the E out in his name.
Yes, we haven't got to put the E in there. Yes, he did. Oh, gee. God makes a noise for you for sure. That's real. Oh, that's so funny. That's so real. That's real. So, now, the best high school player you played against,
Connie
the
Hawkins.
best college, and the best pro.
Connie Hawkins, best college. I'd say Connie Hawkins or Tony Greer.
And what about pro?
Pro would be Earl Monroe.
Oh yeah, the one that. What the hell did Earl Monroe do to you that you keep mentioning his name?
Well, we were playing an all-star game with that Sonny Dub would have in Brooklyn at St. John. So
St. John. I'm going to do, since you mentioned that, this weekend, I'm going to do a tribute to St. John this weekend. I'll be out St. John this weekend. Yes.
Well,
tell me about this game.
Okay, so Rick Barry was in the game. Oscar Robertson.
Hold on. OG, you're going too fast.
I'm going to check Earl.
Hold on. Time out.
Earl was
Time out. Let's go time out. You read these names off too fast. It's normal to you, but it's not normal for everybody out here listening.
Okay.
Who are some of the players that was out here playing in St. John's Park again?
Rick Barry, Oscar Robertson.
What? Hold on. Stop out. Come on, man. What? In Brooklyn?
Chloe Comine.
Wow. I've never heard of this. Harvey Carmine?
Yeah.
Wow.
God damn. Who else?
You? Nate Bowman, Willis Reed, Emmett Bryant. So, Earl elbowed me inside my arm where I couldn't raise my arms anymore. I couldn't play D on him anymore. So then I was trying to figure out psychologically, did he do this on purpose? So when we played down in Philadelphia, the Baker League, and I'd be playing down in the Baker League with Sonny Hill, I'd be playing with Mark Jones, Ray Scott, Bill Bradley. I switch every time I got a girl. I was used to people checking me, not me checking them.
Wow. This is crazy. Rick Barry, Oscar Robertson, Harvey Carmine, yourself, Willis Reed, Earl Monroe. Who?
Emmett Bryant.
Who? Who?
Emmett Bryant.
Emmett Bryant.
MVP 1969, played with the Celtics.
Wow. Who got MVP in that game?
Hey, listen, the party was so good after. That's why we got this game. I can't remember. So I'm gonna invite Mike Davis, the Crusher, for one of your shows.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do. Listen, I enjoyed having you. I'm about to show you a picture right now.
Okay.
Is that cool?
All right, go ahead.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Oh man, this is absolutely been amazing. I knew it was gonna be amazing. I said in the beginning, this is gonna be amazing.
The greatest basketball player on this earth would be Oscar Robertson.
Oh shit.
Woo! I don't know I would say Mike, but hey, look. I get it.
Oscar was a better man than he was a player because he developed the players union and started the strike that started all players to make money.
True. I agree. Better man. Because I never bought a pair of Jordans, ever. You played around the world, Bobby.
I'm a lot darker than that, man. What's in my life, man? Come on, man. Don't light me up now.
You want to talk about it? Tell him make you talk. That's my guy right there. Oh man. This is awesome. This has been awesome, man. Listen.
Hey, so listen. When we were at the NBA All-Star breakfast, Kareem was asked this question on the big screen TV, and there's about 3,000 people there. And they asked him, Kareem, when did you know you finally made it? So he paused for a while, and he said, when I blocked Wallace Goodwin's jump shot. So
who's that?
Around. Wallace Goodwin. Wallace Goodwin was a player that played on my pro team, but he also played at GW. But nobody knew who he was, and they were looking around. So I yelled, hey, I know Wallace Goodwin. I know Wallace Goodwin.
Listen, well, last question. Top 5 players in New York City history.
Top 5 players in New York City?
Yes.
Okay, so I would have to say Danny Archibald, Connie Hawkins, Roger Brown, Tony Jackson, And the last one is a rough one. Bobby Hunter.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. Listen, I just want to thank you, man. Thank you. I want to stay in contact with you. Don't stop calling me. Don't stop sending me those messages. Those things are motivational. Motivational. Thank you.
Let me try to explain this to you easy. I probably won't be with the show, watching the show or seeing the show, but I hope that the sponsors give me the money so that we can put you on national TV.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Kind of like my job. So I'm going to look up Shake and Bake for you, a great Harlem player. And then you get to see Jerry Harkness, who will tell you about the first black players on one team. And last, Mike Davis.
Yes, need that.
Okay.
For sure. Thank you. It's been an honor. Appreciate you. And we're not finished yet.
Yeah. No, we're not.
With that picture,
yeah.
I'm sending you a Game Over Basketball Heads Legends trophy.
Hey, thanks.
Well deserved, and I just want to say thank you again.
All right.
Just send your address, whatever, where I can send it at, and we'll be sending it out next week.
Okay.
Thank you. Salute.
In the words of the great Globetrotters, chicka chicka boom.